Or would the conditions be slightly different? Guys, sorry about that. I am having Majeu. I am having Majeu, you know. Uh, guys, as I'm taking medication, I was expecting answers. I'm expecting answers as I take medication. So question is that like would the okay, slightly different, come on. Uh Slightly or significantly? As a question. Okay. So meaning that like the duration does also play a key role, isn't it? So the duration does play a key role in terms of whether we see something holding or not, right? So for example, in this situation, in this scenario, obviously we had multiple tests of this level, but we didn't get a significant break above. But yet we still have a clear understanding about this relationship, isn't it? Minor forced liquidation, but obviously understandable. So if we consider this area here on how much it got tested, and you also do take into consideration this distance, you can see that now this distance compared to this one, it's a bit different, isn't it? Because this is an area that has been tested multiple times, meaning that even when price comes back into that region, the duration or the time in which it took to approach that set level that has been tested multiple times, it is shorter, right? As compared to this one here, which is longer. So the longer, like the longer duration, what it does is that it gives an increase in, for example, buyers. If the price continues to increase in value, now you start to have more people coming into the market and participating. So you have more buyers within the market as compared to the sellers. But now one would come and say, ask a question and say, okay, with that implication, or with that or like view in terms of that, when price reduced in value, let's say for example, when the price reduced in value and got back into this region, right? This situation, we once we broke below this the 50%, the demand started to exceed the supply, isn't it? But here we just got just a bit. But also we can also look at it in terms of a line graph just to see if maybe did we tip the equilibrium scale that would lead to that, a reduction in price. Based on the closing prices, the reduction in price was due to the supply exceeding the demand, technically speaking, by technicalities, if we're looking at it from a closing price perspective, meaning that it was warrant for this to occur. A similar situation occurred here, right? So now let's get back to what we are looking at. So now my question is that the same situation that we have observed here, can it also play here? Obviously, we have already tipped the equilibrium scale, even though it's not that big, but it is there. There. Wait, guys. There we are. There. We have already tipped the equilibrium scale at 50. We are there already. So meaning that As the price continued to reduce in value, we obviously reached a point again whereby the demand started to exceed the supply, which resulted in an increase in price. We are here now in a situation whereby the push to the upside itself already reflected that we are in a situation whereby the supply exceeds the demand. So we are looking for a reduction in price. Now, if you do take that into consideration, so would a presidential candidate have such a strong force? Like, let's say maybe considering the two presidential candidates, the ones that we have that are in the race, right? Provided that Donald Trump does occupy the seat. So you are saying that there is a probability that regardless of whether we have spent so much time away from this area, that we are able to even continue further. Mm. So we are able to continue further, meaning that the price it can increase to such an extent whereby now we start to see the dollar trading at around 140. That's a question, guys, please. Guys, okay. Now, let's say that the dollar does increase in value. What would be the impact on the global economy, provided that the dollar now will trade at 140? How will that impact global trades? Guys, guys, okay, let's leave it at that. Okay. So the chances of us seeing that occurring, I think that they are low. The chances of us seeing this swing high being liquidated, they are low. So right now, what we'll be looking at throughout the course of basically like the course of the upcoming this end of this year, the upcoming year, what we would be looking at is that we will be looking for a further reduction in the value of the dollar. But again, remember that the 110 itself, it's not yet ruled out. The probability of 110 is not ruled out, right? Do we agree on that? Okay, so the probability of that is not ruled out, but there is a condition that has to be followed for us to consider 110 as a probability. That mean, or consider 110 as a potential price. Remember last time when we spoke about this part here. We spoke about this part here, right? And when we spoke about this part, we asked one question: how significant is this area? Like, how significant is this price level once this area was liquidated, which was like May 2023, right? So that area, it was created then, but it got liquidated when September 2023, right? So the question that we asked is that how significant was this forced liquidation of that set swing high? How important was it? That was the question that we asked, and we said that if this is truly as important as we think it might be, or as